Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're cutting through the noise to figure out why most people stay poor even when they're pulling in a healthy six-figure salary. We aren't doing any get-rich-quick nonsense today. Instead, we're focusing entirely on why habits build personal wealth. By the end of this explainer, you'll understand the exact mindset shift that separates folks who build lasting wealth from the ones who just merely make money.
Let's start right here. If you were handed 10 grand right now, what would you do with it? Well, statistics say you would probably be completely broke again within 5 years. Now, don't take that personally. It's just a mathematical reality based on human behavior.
Just look at lottery winners. Studies show the vast majority of them wind up right back at their original financial baseline, or, crazy enough, even worse off within just a few years. It brilliantly illustrates that true wealth, it's not about magically stumbling into a pile of cash. It's really about the fundamental habits you practice every single day.
Section 1. The high income myth. Raising the ceiling on mistakes.
So give yourself an honest gut check right here. If your income literally doubled tomorrow, would your savings rate double too? Or would your spending just kind of subtly expand to completely fill up that new raise? Be brutally honest with yourself, because your answer to this one question predicts way more about your financial future than your actual salary ever will.
The culprit here is lifestyle inflation, and it's a huge trap. For most people, an increase in income doesn't solve their money problems. It just raises the ceiling on their mistakes. You get a raise, and almost automatically your spending jumps to match it. You lease a slightly nicer car, you upgrade the apartment, you order way more takeout. The money just disappears into a slightly shinier version of your exact same life. Because of that, your savings rate stays completely flat. Sometimes it even drops. The actual gap between what you earn and what you spend never grows.
Section 2. Mind the wealth gap. Assets versus liabilities.
To actually build that gap, you got to use a really simple test. An asset puts money into your pocket over time. A liability takes money out of your pocket over time. That's the whole shebang. It sounds so obvious, right? But people get this deeply confused. A car is not an asset. It depreciates. It needs gas, insurance, constant repairs. It's a liability that's just super useful to have. Even a primary home is way trickier than most people think. It constantly drains cash with property taxes and maintenance, and it doesn't pay you unless you're renting part of it out. Real assets? They usually look incredibly boring. We're talking index funds, dividend stocks, rental income, or a business that runs without you having to babysit it 24/7.
Listen, people who build real wealth prioritize one exact order. They buy assets first, and then they buy liabilities with whatever's left over. But most people out there do this completely backwards. They buy the lifestyle first, the flashy car, the gadgets, and then whatever happens to be left at the end of the month, if anything, goes toward their future. Flipping that order is literally a game changer for your financial life.
Section 3. The power of boring. Patience under boredom. Here's an uncomfortable truth. Building wealth is not supposed to be exciting. If you look at the first 10 years of compound growth on a chart, it looks almost totally flat. And this flat line, this is exactly where most people crack. They don't fail because they aren't smart enough. They fail from a complete lack of tolerance for boredom. Right when it looks like absolutely nothing is happening, they quit. They chase something fast and flashy like crypto or some internet trading system simply because it feels more exciting than watching a boring number slowly grow in the background. But watch how this builds into something incredible over time. If you steadily invest just $500 a month starting at age 25 and you hit historical stock market returns of around 8 to 9%, this staggering number right here is what you get by age 60. You're looking at $1.5 to $1.7 million. And get this, that didn't take a CEO salary, it didn't take a lucky stock pick, it came exclusively from consistency and time.
We really need to reframe this idea that being boring with your money is a bad thing. Like this quote perfectly points out, the boring plan you can stick to for 20 years is always going to outperform the exciting plan you abandon after 8 months. The folks who actually get wealthy are incredibly boring about it. They automate their investments, they stop checking their portfolio every single day, and they just let time do the heavy lifting. Being boring isn't a negative. Mathematically, it is your absolute greatest wealth-building superpower.
Section 4. Killing high-interest debt. The wealth destroyer.
Now, not all debt is the same. But high-interest consumer debt, we're talking credit cards or personal loans, usually carries punishing interest rates in the high teens or even the 20s. So think about it, while your smart investments might be growing steadily at 8%, your high-interest debt is actively shrinking your net worth at 2 or 3 times that exact rate.
It's a total wealth destroyer.
The math on this is absolute. You simply cannot out-invest a high-interest debt spiral. It just doesn't work. Paying down this bad debt isn't just some boring chore. It is mathematically the highest return move you can possibly make because you are eliminating a massive, guaranteed cost instead of crossing your fingers and hoping for a stock market gain.
Which brings us to the final section, the 4 wealth habits. Your order of operations.
If you're serious about this, you gotta follow a specific sequence. First, build a small emergency cushion so life's little surprises don't completely derail you. Second, ruthlessly kill that high-interest debt. And third, aggressively redirect all that freed up money into buying real assets. If you try to skip, actually, scratch that. Don't even try to skip these steps, or the whole foundation gets incredibly shaky. Follow them in order, and you ensure your money is constantly working for you.
Let's lock in these 4 major takeaways. Number 1, a high income isn't the final goal. Growing the gap between your income and spending is. 2, always buy assets before liabilities. 3, embrace the boredom, because the consistent plan beats the exciting plan you'll inevitably quit. And 4, absolutely crush high interest debt first. Honestly, none of this is complicated. It's just not flashy, which is exactly why the vast majority of people fail to do it.
So, take a second and reflect on your own financial habits right now. Which one of those 4 hits the hardest for you? Think about lifestyle inflation, that tricky illusion of liabilities, and the massive power of just being boring. What's the one habit you are going to actively change today to lock in your financial future? Are you going to let boredom push you back into broke habits, or are you going to use patience as your ultimate tool to build an empire? Let us know.